Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, it's turning out to be a pretty nice afternoon. We had a bit of a storm sort of move through the area. It ended up mostly going around us, but it clouded up. We got a little bit of rain and a little bit of thunder and stuff. But it's passed on, so now it's back to work, right? Yeah, the border. There's this, conspiracy that, in fact, I was called out on this a few weeks back. The Media Matters. Some of you know who Media Matters is. It's a George Soros or something like that lefty type of publication. And they called me and several other YouTubers out by spreading conspiracy theory fear that all of these illegals are coming across the border and they're going to join the military and they're going to vote and all this kind of stuff. And we were, we're crazy people, right? Us crazy homesteading, prepper, conservative, traditional, conspiracy theory extremists by saying that kind of stuff. But now, actually, maybe we weren't quite as crazy because there's been some information leaked south of the border in Mexico where there is there's flyers being passed around and information being given to people that basically tell them how to get into the country illegally and then vote. Yes, vote. And it's telling them to vote for Joe Biden. Now, that may not be that big of a deal for you, but when you consider that there's 10,000 plus illegals coming across the border every day, it's eventually going to make your vote pretty watered down and pointless, isn't it? I mean, if they do that. Now, I know that a lot of you are going to say, well, illegals can't vote in America. And while that's technically true, there are some places that you can go and get a voter ID card, and all you have to do is just state that you are, yes, here legally, and that you are allowed to vote, and they'll take that as being good enough, and they'll give you a voter ID card. Not every place requires ID. So, yeah, that means that if you came to America and were coached illegally and came here illegally and were coached, you could potentially walk into wherever and register to vote and tell them a story and get a voter ID card and vote. Yeah. So that's a real big issue. And I don't even know how much more I need to talk about this, that what we've all been saying for a while is coming true. Now, there are also efforts in certain states and certain cities and counties and stuff where they're trying to pass laws to make it easier for illegals to vote. And there's definitely a decent number of people on the left that are pushing this openly, that they think that all these illegals should be able to vote. And I just want to ask again, if they're being coached and promised things and being told that they need to vote for the left, they need to vote for Joe Biden, does the left really need to do a lot to try to technically steal the vote, maybe like they did last time, when all they got to do is just get all these millions and millions that's come into this country to go and vote? I mean, most elections are won by a fairly small margin. If you look at on the big elections with the president, we're not talking a lot of difference in votes. Sometimes just a few 100,000 votes can make it go different either way, depending on where those votes are cast. And so, not to be the bearer of bad news and to make anyone sad, but if this is, and it is happening, it's not an if this is happening, this has been confirmed, it is happening. And if many of them, or some of them, or whatever, are going to try to vote this November for Joe Biden, I don't know. I mean, is it over? I'm not throwing in the towel, and I'm certainly not suggesting you to throw in the towel either. But I've been telling you for a while to stop putting all your hopes and dreams in this idea that the right person's going to get elected and change everything. It's possible. I'm not saying that that's an impossibility at all. I'm telling you to don't sit on the sidelines and trust the plan and do nothing with this belief that someone's going to change it for you. You need to get ready for this. You need to be preparing yourselves for what's going to happen if, well, things don't get better come this November. And then what's going to happen when it appears that Donald Trump would win and then he doesn't? Are we going to see that possible civil war scenario that many have talked about? I mean, right now they're trying to put him in jail. I think I saw today that they've selected some of the jurors for his trial, that the prosecutor is threatening or is attempting to get the judge to, rule that he's contempt of court. And I believe that the judge himself said that he would throw him in jail if he finds him in contempt. So, yeah, I wanted to share that with you because some of you may not know that. I posted it over on the Twitter X page for myself, and there was some people that said it was not true, but it is true. If you look into it, and then there was people saying, well, it doesn't matter because it's this flyer going around telling them how to vote and to vote for Joe Biden. And I had a few people saying, well, the illegals can't vote. Yes and no. In some places that are very left-leaning, they're kind of turning a blind eye to this. And then, like I said, there are some places that do not require you to show an ID to vote. That's been why the left has been pushing that. They don't want you to have to show an identification to vote. And there are some places that's true. Other places, obviously, that you have to, it's a state by state, area by area. And then in the end, it's the person sitting there enforcing it. So if they get a hold of the right person, they could give them a voter ID card anyways, register them to vote. And if this is happening in an orchestrated way, which is exactly what it appears to be, then I don't know, how doomed are we? Because there's so many. We're not talking a few 100,000. We're talking potentially tens of millions, at least 10 million, and possibly double that. And even if 10% or 25% of them vote, that's substantial. And it could definitely change things. So I'm not being all doom and gloomish. I'm just telling you, because I know that some of you still believe that if we just hold out a little bit longer until the next election, then things will dramatically turn around. And I'm just warning you, don't put all your eggs in that basket, folks. You need to be getting ready, because it's possible if they get enough people doing this, then it won't matter so much of how many of you support him or some other person or whoever, or how legal it is and legitimate. This is just another loophole to get more people to vote for the far left globalists. I don't know. I wanted to share that with you because I saw that, I believe it was yesterday, and been talking about voting a lot, which kind of irks me because I can't stand the politics thing. I'm kind of in the camp that it's all lost anyways, but I certainly wouldn't encourage or discourage anyone from still pursuing a political solution. I've been telling people to call up your congressman here in Missouri. So you better brace yourself for it, folks. Who knows? We may not even get to the election. A lot of people believe that World War III or some kind of martial law or something's going to happen before we even get to November. And that's well within the possibilities. But then there's this. So start prepping up, folks, and getting your houses in order. Prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.